It is my honor for our Kol Nidre personal reflection to welcome our longtime JRC member, Nina Raskin, to share with us her words, her Torah, on this Kol Nidre evening. Nina.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
So I have a personal reflection, and I also have a poem. And so I think I might read my poem first, because it was actually a lamentation. This is it. Blue mood, no poem tonight. The well is dry, and the good eye that views the world, the clouds, the tender leaves, the newborn bud, the pan-fried egg, the piece of toast, is crusted with fatigue from rage and grief and hate and thoughts of death. But blackbird sails across the patch of blue and white from which I see my sheltered view in morning's light. And Bach's invention unplugs my ears. I hear my rabbi on the iPhone. A neighbor leaves the paper at the door. The stories grim and bold and loving. I can read and I can write, and waters cleanse the crusted eye, revive the drooping vine and bud, and still the silent scream inside this head. Return, return to Teshuvah, to the land of life. Fill the well with tears of repentance and illuminate it with a beam of golden light. And I wrote that lament during the time of lamentation in June. And this is my reflection for loosening the bindings in the time of COVID-19. During these past 7 months, for me, keeping out companionship and physical contact and holding in and intensifying fear and despair of all that was troubling our world. Pandemic, climate change, violent eruptions of hatred toward immigrants, people of color, undocumented workers, people seeking asylum, and the dismantling of American democracy and norms of behavior. So constricted in my apartment, I opened the door to freedom, my balcony. There, I looked out of my third-floor apartment onto an ordinary view, facing north, the wrought iron railing, the roof of the building's first-floor garage, the alley beyond, the backyards of the homes across the alley, the trees, the clouds, the sky. And as I would sit there, this square of life became my opening into freedom, my loosening of these bindings, and I entered a world of life, beauty, and human and animal activity. I heard the sounds of birds, cicadas, children's voices, someone practicing the piano, lawnmowers, sirens, airplanes, bees pollinating the coleus plants hanging from my railing, my neighbors' FaceTime conversations with their family members, a young mother crying because her child was so unhappy, the sound of the wind crackling the leaves of the full-blown trees. One day as I sat, I saw a plume of white smoke in the blue sky. At first I thought it was skywriting, but there was no plane. And as I watched it, I realized that it was a shooting star, a meteor, a broken piece of the universe that bloomed in the sky and then disappeared, burning up in the Earth's atmosphere before my very eyes. And death came to my balcony. A few weeks ago, after a violent windstorm, I went out to sit on the balcony late in the day. I thought I saw a dried leaf on the floor, but it was a dead bird lying on its side, its soft little body indented, its delicate legs and feet behind it, its markings clear, a tan head, black beak, white breast with black dots, Its wings a dark gray merging with inky black tips. A sparrow, already injured, falling from the sky onto my balcony. There it lay, but I couldn't throw it into the garbage, not in this time of gargantuan loss. Now is the time for tender interment, and so I wrapped the little corpse in soft coleus leaves that were turning yellow and went into the alley with a spade, loosening some soil and plant debris, and interred this victim of a great wind into our earth, our hallowed ground. So this Kol Nidre, what new vows will I embrace? How will my square of life, which contains the whole cosmos, prepare me for the year ahead? And I dedicate this piece to my two daughters, my oldest, who named the view from her bedroom window when she was 8 years old, her square of life, and my youngest for entering my square of life.
Thank you, Nina. I'm giving you a hug from across these miles. As is such our custom, I miss, as we come up and down off the bima, being able to have that physical connection